Your presence is noted, and your queen most appreciative.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times the ladies of Bridgerton stole the show.
Tell me, are my musings not offering you sufficient business?
Indeed. But why should there be limits to a woman's ambitions? I would think you, of all people, would understand. There's always more to be achieved.
For this list, we'll be looking at the moments when the women of the Ton grabbed the spotlight with their wit, wisdom, and passion. Did we forget a Bridgerton lady worthy of Lady Whistledown's discerning eye? Let us know in the comments section. Number 10. Marina gives Colin a reality check. Almost a year after their ill-fated whirlwind romance, Colin Bridgerton seeks out Marina Thompson in pursuit of closure.
Throughout my travels, I kept pondering how I left things between us. All of those terrible things I said to you.
Colin, there is no need.
I want you to know that I'm sorry. And that I forgive you as well.
I do not need your apology any more than I desire your forgiveness.
Whatever mistakes Marina once made, it is clear that she has already moved on and made peace with her choices. In contrast, Colin has been dwelling obsessively on the past and wondering what might have been.
That is a fool's form of torture. I have left the past behind. You should do the same.
Whatever she says, Colin assumes that Marina, who married for necessity rather than love, must be dissatisfied. She is quick to set him straight, though.
You are a boy, caught up in his own fantasies. In truth, I once thought that would be enough to save me from my reality, but what I learned is, I do not need saving in that way.
Content in the life she has built with her husband, Marina refuses to entertain Colin's view of her as a tragic figure. Her clear-eyed, mature perspective is tough for Colin to take, but something he desperately needed to hear.
You have many people who care for you. Seek them out, because your future will certainly not be found in the past with me.
Number 9. Lady Danbury becomes the champion Simon needs. Simon had his issues to sort through, but with a father like his, it's a wonder he grew up as well adjusted as he did. That is, in large part, due to the influence of Lady Danbury. As his godmother, she takes a keen interest in his well-being that his father does not share.
Have you learned to read? To write? To ride a horse? To fence? Well, then why ever are you not in school?
I can not eat.
Though she is clearly heartbroken by Simon's bruised self-esteem, she does not give him pity. Rather, she becomes the first adult in his life to relate to him. And with a mind to his future, she also becomes the first parental figure to offer validation.
I will help you to overcome this stammer of yours. But in exchange, you must promise me that when you step into the light, you will be worthy of the attention you command.
Simon's father may have been a dud, but we should all be so lucky to have Lady Danbury in our corners.
I sharpened my wit, my wardrobe, and my eye, and I made myself the most terrifying creature in any room I entered.
Number 8. Sienna answers passion with pragmatism. One of our earliest introductions to the callous side of Anthony Bridgerton saw him abruptly ending his relationship with opera singer Sienna Rosso.
You said you would always protect me. You promised to care for me, my lord. And now? What shall I do now?
You shall leave.
Despite his proclaimed duty to find a suitable wife, he becomes jealous when he sees his former paramour socializing with Simon. However, when he shows up at the theater to get her back, she isn't exactly receptive to his renewed attention.
Surprising as it may be to you, I do not sit here merely waiting for your visits. I have plans of my own to attend.
With the Duke?
My affairs are no longer your concern, sir, as you have already made abundantly clear.
Anthony attempts to persuade Sienna of his feelings for her, but she is the one to remind him of the realities of their social positions. It's not spite that motivates Sienna, simply a desire to protect herself from further heartbreak. She may not be a noblewoman, but she knows she deserves better than to be toyed with.
You have made me promises before, and I, like a fool, believed them.
I cannot be your fool again.
Number 7. Eloise has no sympathy for Benedict. It's no secret that Eloise chafes against the expectations of her class, which usually manifests in her patented snark.
It is terribly familiar, yet I am sure this is the first time I've seen it.
That is because, like all of these paintings, it was done by a man who sees a woman as nothing other than a decorative object.
However, a late-night conversation with Benedict shows us the genuine feeling under all the quippy one-liners. While Benedict mopes about his artistic efforts, Eloise can't hold back her frustration.
It must be so very difficult to want something and not be able to get it. If you enjoy drawing but need practice, then practice. Hire a drawing master. Find a young lady to act impressed. If you desire the sun and the moon, all you have to do is go out and shoot at the sky. Some of us cannot.
As she points out the lack of support that women face from the world, it's clear how deeply Eloise resents the unequal status quo. She reminds Benedict of the barriers he will never face, citing Lady Whistledown, who must hide behind a pen name and publish in secret to protect herself. Direct and undeniably correct, Eloise shuts down his pity party hard.
Whistledown is a woman. Therefore, she has nothing. And still, she writes. You're a man, therefore you have everything. You are able to do whatever you want. So do it. Be bold.
Number 6. Kate's competitive streak comes out. If there's one thing we learn about Kate Sharma, it's that she plays every game to win, especially against Antony. We see this on full display during a round of Pall Mall at Aubrey Hall.
Are you in a losing mood?
My mood shall remain unchanged, regardless of your choice.
Ah, is that so? You would bravely bear the crushing shame of defeat.
However, an earlier outing to the races had already revealed Kate to be a formidable and unapologetic opponent. When Antony shares his choice of horse, Kate, of course, has a contrary opinion. One that she has clearly done her homework on.
Nectar ran well at Doncaster, but that was a firmer course. The weather was much cooler, thus his size was an advantage. Today, the track is soft and it is hot, meaning he will struggle to make headway, overheat and slow down during the final leg, giving Highflyer, a much swifter, lighter, cooler horse, the victory.
Antony is dismissive, but once the race starts, it's obvious Kate has gotten under his skin. No amount of cheering can change the fact that Kate was right, though. Insufferable as Antony's been, we don't begrudge her taking a small moment to gloat.
I must say, I've never bested a Viscount before. Beating you feels the same as any other win, but somehow smells sweeter.
Number 5. Eloise and Penelope confront each other. Devastating as this moment was, it was also impossible to look away from. After 2 seasons of sleuthing, Eloise finally discovers the true identity of Lady Whistledown.
I'm so sorry, you were right about all of it. I was trying to protect you.
Is that what you were doing? By writing about me in your latest sheet? By telling the entire world about things I trusted you with?
It was the only way I could convince the Queen it wasn't you. It was the only way I could save you.
The raw emotions erupting in this scene are hard to endure, especially because the 2 best friends know just which buttons to push to cause the most pain.
Sequestered here, in this very room, writing your secret little scandal sheet, tarnishing everyone in town all because you are too scared to stand up for yourself in reality. You are something, Penelope. An insipid wallflower indeed.
Penelope's desperate attempts to explain herself don't move Eloise. Her hurt and betrayal are palpable on screen, as she rips into Penelope for all the permanent damage she could have inflicted. However, Penelope ultimately isn't ready to just roll over. She has a dart of her own for Eloise that we know is sure to fester long after the fight has ended.
All you ever do is talk about doing something. You have all these great ambitions, these great plans, but I am the one who actually did something great, and you cannot stand it, can you? What do you think that makes you?
Number 4. Edwina takes control. Easygoing and mild-mannered, Edwina has spent her life letting stronger personalities dictate what's best for her. That all ends in the aftermath of her cancelled wedding.
I cannot marry you, Lord Bridgerton. You cannot provide me with what it is that I want. What it is that I deserve.
Shaken as she is by the events of the day, a moment with Queen Charlotte helps Edwina find the strength to speak up for herself. Antony offers a vision of a dutiful, if loveless, marriage that she summarily rejects.
I may not know exactly what true love feels like, but I certainly know what it is not. It is not deception, or wandering eyes, or a role to be fulfilled.
Even more difficult, she asserts her independence from Kate. Though her sister loves her, Edwina can now see that she has used her to hide from her own feelings.
You say you have spent your life trying to give me everything I lacked. But really, you simply gave me everything you really wanted for yourself, as though my life were not my own.
It's a moment of incredible bravery in the middle of a day that should have left her completely crushed. Whatever anyone else may think, Edwina is ready to stand on her own.
Today, you have lost your power. Well, I have made up my own mind. And that is victory enough for me.
Number 3. Portia turns the tables. A master schemer no matter the circumstances, Portia attempts to improve her family's desperate financial situation by running an investment scam with the new Baron Featherington. But when Jack reveals he plans to take her and the swindled funds to America, we see where her true loyalties lie.
Portia, we are a team, and an excellent one at that.
Oh, I already have a team. They are 3 young ladies, often nettling and contrary, but they are mine.
We finally experience someone using the misogyny of the era to their advantage, when Portia points out how easy it will be for her to play the innocent victim. To Jack's shock and dismay, she further reveals that she has even thought up a solution to her immediate problems, which leaves him out in the cold.
I will keep a large share of the money to support myself and my young ladies. And I had Mrs. Varley forge a signature on a document stating that as soon as one of my girls has a son, the estate shall pass to them.
Faced with the threat of society's wrath, Jack has no choice but to concede. Apparently, Portia's beast mode is Mama Bear.
You are cruel.
I am a mother. And you're not leaving any worse off than when you arrived. With nothing.
Number 2. Daphne's speech to Simon. After Daphne learns of Simon's painful family history, she's finally able to understand the fear that holds him back. With their marriage on the line, she wastes no time in getting right to the point.
Just because something is not perfect does not make it any less worthy of love.
There has been distrust and secrecy between the couple, but the summer rainstorm seems to wash all of that away. And Simon's emotional walls begin to crumble as Daphne professes her feelings openly.
I love all of you. Even the parts that you believe are too dark and too shameful. Every scar, every flaw, every imperfection.
While we saw all kinds of steamy passion between these two, this display of honest devotion is the most intimate moment Bridgerton has given us. Daphne may be a debutante damsel, but she becomes Simon's white knight with words that prove that real love is, indeed, patient and kind, and always supportive.
You may think you are too damaged and too broken to ever allow yourself to be happy, but you can choose differently, Simon. You can choose to love me as much as I love you. That should not be up to anyone else.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Violet Bridgerton declares open season on Antony. Lady Bridgerton checks her son's attitude as only a mother can.
Truly is a sparse crop.
Oh, I'm sure there is someone here who will charm you. After all, this is the season the Viscount intends to find a wife.
You honestly just did that?
I believe I did.
Genevieve and Sienna drink to their independence. Bridgerton's 2 career women prefer self-determination over high society.
I am no innocent debutante.
And more's your good fortune. Would you prefer to sit around simpering over your needlework or whatsoever it is these debutantes must do to pass the time? You and I make our own way in the world.
That we do.
Edwina's Haldi ceremony. The Sharma family shares a sweet moment while keeping their cultural traditions.
Is it not also said, when spread on an unmarried person, Haldi will help them find a worthy partner that makes the rest of the world quiet too?
Edwina.
Now, it is your turn to hold still.
Penelope shows off her business savvy. Nicola Coughlin's native accent helps show a tougher side to normally polite Penelope.
Princes in this town are 10 a penny. There's only one Lady Whistledown, and she could just as easily take her business elsewhere. So it's 18, not a penny more. And the delivery boys need a wage increase. They're the ones running around town while you get to sit here on your lazy arse.
Queen Charlotte has her priorities in order. Who cares about another debutante season when Lady Whistledown has returned?
I've seen enough.
But Your Majesty, there's still—
I have seen enough!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Kate's introduction. It was love at first sight, and then hate, and then love again. Kate Sharma burst onto the ton with a verve that would make Jane Austen proud.
We've not yet been introduced!
I'm afraid that is not possible, not when I have a victory lap to enjoy.
However, sparks don't really start to fly until the Danbury Ball, where Kate overhears Antony's demeaning wish list for a prospective bride. A topic she doesn't hesitate to bring up in the face of Antony's subsequent charm offensive.
You were eavesdropping.
It was hardly an effort, seeing as you were proclaiming your many requirements for a wife loud enough for the entire party to hear.
You take issue with my requirements?
I take issue with any man who views women merely as chattels and breeding stock.
As we have already witnessed the Viscount's demeaning approach to the marriage market in action, watching Kate dress him down becomes even more satisfying. Yet, while Antony is clearly taken aback, he still has the confidence to try flirting again.
So you find my smile pleasing?
I find your opinion of yourself entirely too high. Your character is as deficient as your horsemanship. I shall bid you good night.
See that face? That's the face of someone struck by Cupid's arrow. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.